Okay guys, so this is a super messy day, busy day. This was Monday, Memorial Day practice for the bass champs on Tawakoni. And I will admit, I had those two big stringers in my mind from last year, those two 26-pound stringers. And going through my head of knowing what I know of the history of Tawakoni, I convinced myself that there was a shad spawn on the dam, because when there's a shad spawn on the dam, it is just lights out down there. Spawn on the dam and shad spawn on the dam are lights out on a lot of these lakes around Dallas. But so right off the bat, I was there as early as I could be. I ran to the dam, and the footage from the dam, there is none, because I never had a bite. Now I ran down there wasn't a bird on the dam. I didn't spend 10 minutes there. I mean, I knew that I had that very small one to try to find those fish early. I had run by another place, so I ran to the dam, never had a bite, never saw a bird, and took off. And here's where I stopped next. Well, second practice day at Tawakoni is not off to a great start. But it's off to a start. Okay, so preconceived idea of finding a shad spawn that morning didn't work. And so I was just trying to think, again, you can generally not get too shallow on Tawakoni, even in the heat of the summertime, which the water's only in the low 70s right now, low mid 70s. So there's a lot, super shallow because the lake's down a little bit, but there's a lot of that little bank grass with the little white flowers on top. And I've caught them all over the country in that stuff. And this is the first spot I roll up into, and here's what happens in that. So you can see here, I had fished in the left side of this pocket, and this guy had fished in the right side, and I turned around in the back, and he turned around, and I'm going right back at him, and watch what happens. Mine's bigger than yours. Incredible how shallow they'll get here. So I don't know if you can see in that footage or not, but the guy in the front of me, I couldn't tell what he was throwing. I actually wasn't paying attention, but he caught a fish the same time I caught that fish. That fish was a solid 3.5 pound fish. Just chunky post-spawn fish. And that was a curveball to me, because I spent the next probably 2 hours running that stuff with a buzzbait, with a frog, and with a swim jig, and never had another bite. But that's what you got to do when you get a bite like that. That's a tournament quality fish. 4 of those fish and a kicker does real well in a tournament like this, and 3 of those fish and 2 kickers can win a tournament like this. So when I've got that bite, you got to let the fish tell you what they're doing. They lied to me in this instance, but I just did best I knew what to do. one of the things I've observed at Tawakoni and Cedar Creek, lakes that have a lot of boathouses like this, is although you may catch them on the boathouses in practice, when you get tournaments there and you get a couple hundred boats, it scatters those fish off those docks. So I've caught a ton of fish over the years dragging between the boathouses. And this was just a little variation that I put on that so I could cover the water a lot faster. I start dragging kind of a biffle style bait I'll show you right here in a minute at a pretty fast pace, mostly just reeling it around and, well, first off, between the boat docks, and then I pulled up to one and I thought I'm just going to throw it under it. And I don't know how many fish I caught doing this, but I caught a bunch. And I'm not going to show them to you because a lot of them are small. I caught a couple decent fish doing it, but I'll show you what I'm doing right here because it was pretty solid here for a while. Well, put a hook in my finger, boy. So a couple things. Fish are just not biting as good today as they did the other day. So I've just changed over and started doing something that seems to be working. This is that little, it's called a Rage Menace. A little twin-tailed grunt that's got spectacular action. And I've tied it on a little half-ounce swing head, actually a Strike King swing head. It's a lot like that all-terrain that Terry threw last year. And I'm actually pitching these docks with it so the lake's down a little bit. And by the way, that's that little swing head. And what I'm able to do is shoot that thing up under those docks or down the side of those docks. And it's kind of a combination of cranking them and pitching plastics around them. You know, I mean, you get kind of some jig bites, you get some worm bites, and you get some crankbait bites. I had 3 bites on that first dock I did that on right there. Now, we all know how that works. I'll now go 50 docks in a row without getting a bite. But, we'll see how that happens. By the way, I started thinking, some of you guys probably watched some of this footage earlier and thought, man, Ken is not catching them on a crankbait. Why can't he put them fish in the boat? Well, so that little 100 series crankbait from 6 cents I've been throwing. Yesterday I popped the back hook, one of the 3 back hooks off, getting it out of one of those big sand bass with my pliers, and they just haven't replaced it. I'll certainly replace it before tournament day, but I haven't replaced it yet. So yeah, you're going to lose some fish when your back treble is not really a treble, it's a double. So that's that little bait, and the tails come connected, so you just pop the tail loose. You see I'm dyeing the tip of it, and it's got crazy good action. I'm slow rolling this bait around these docks, and it got mushy, and I stomped on it. And this is a pretty funny exchange between me and a guy who comes running down the dock here. GoPro, stop recording. This isn't a body, is it?
I'm hoping it's my wheelbarrow.
No, it's some kind of...
In that really bad storm we had 2 weeks ago yesterday.
Yeah.
And I bet you $1 that's my wheelbarrow. Oh, I hope it's my wheelbarrow. I have missed that wheelbarrow. Oh no, it's a chair. Yeah, it's one of those bag chairs. I guess it blew off at some point in the past.
Come here, buddy.
You got a good line on there. You know what? Here, I have something I can help you pull that up with. Now, if you get it unhooked, it'll... Well, shoot, I thought you'd found my wheelbarrow.
Well, I caught me a sock the other day, and my partner said, throw back in there, there might be another one.
And it might even match.
Stuck in that bag.
Yeah, there you go.
You got it?
Yeah. Well, if you hang a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, I'll holler.
Yeah.
To close the day, I went down on the main lake, or was down on the main lake, and I just started side imaging some points, and I saw just a giant school of fish. Threw a Carolina rig, threw a crankbait, couldn't get bit, and this is just a lesson in having the right tool in the toolbox. I had myself a little tail spinner and fired it up there. First cast, doink. Second cast, doink. Third cast, doink. Fourth cast, doink. And it's like, okay, there ain't nothing up there but those little things. But it's so handy to have that tail spinner in the box to be able to throw it up there and really quickly discern exactly what's up there, and that's what I was able to do right here. All right, so that's my practice now. Terry practiced as well. He didn't catch much either. He's got one little drag spot he got a couple of bites off of. And it's kind of freeing. You know, the frustrating thing is where we caught those fish last year, I made 2 passes over it, and Terry made a pass over it. We didn't have a bite. So it's kind of freeing that we don't have to be running anywhere right off the bat. I don't know if we'll start on the spot where we started last year. My sense is we probably will, because we don't really have anything else to run to. We never really found a big shad spawn that seemed to have a lot of black bass in it, a lot of sand bass in them. So I think we'll probably start there. It's a trailering event, and then we're probably going to hit his drag spot. I've got 4 or 5 docks marked where I got multiple bites, and then a couple of other little kind of trash in the water spots, which is a lot of time what you wind up fishing at Tawakoni. So we're not on much, and I know they've been wrecking them down there. All the Tawakoni locals. I mean, it took, I think, 40-something pounds to win the 2-day tournament down there the other day, a Tawakoni Bass Club tournament. So they're going to catch them. Somebody's going to catch something in the high 20s again. It might be us. We're going to be around places both of us have caught big fish before, but sometimes these are our best tournaments. Sometimes they're the worst too. Look, I would really love to be worried about somebody sitting on a spot where we were catching 6-pounders, but we don't have that luxury. So we're just going to go fishing, see what happens. So we'll have that footage up for you next week, and I've got some new product stuff up for you next week. And we're going to start the 10-boat review here real soon, actually, in the next couple of weeks. So stick around. We got more good stuff coming. Thanks for tuning in, guys.